City residents celebrate Queen's birthday. 50 dead and 53 injured in a deadly US shooting. And PNG lose in penalty shootout.
This is National EMTV News with Hope Imaka.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Monday's news. Getting out of the house and having a relaxing time with friends and family is not a common scene for most families in the busy city of Port Moresby. But today, 4 families, 3 from the African continent, decided to do something different on Queen's birthday. They chose the new Ring Road in downtown Port Moresby as the perfect spot for a day of fun and games.
Queen's birthday, and as friends, we just thought that it was wise to come together.
Our news crew was on a news hunt around Port Moresby today when we met up with the families. It was the cheering by the children which caught our attention. When we pulled up on the side of the newly constructed Ring Road, we realized that these families were just having fun in the sun. The 3 African families are from Kenya, Malawi and South Africa, while the PNG family was from Medeng.
Just celebrate along with friends. Those who are happy to join us, they can join. It's not a no goes on. Everyone is welcome. Yes.
So apart from this, what? They began the day with a walk around the town area, followed by the sack race, and continued on with relays and a tug of war. And when we asked why this particular spot was chosen, family representative Lynette Ondong had this to say.
For the fresh air, it's really fresh along the beach.
Generally, it was a quiet public holiday in the big city. The main bus stops were empty, as most people spent the day at home or watched the different sporting games in the city. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
An investigation will be conducted into the recent unrest in Mount Hagen City last Wednesday. This was resolved after a meeting by all relevant stakeholders in Hagen this morning. The urgent meeting was to address the recent unrest in Hagen, which was led by a group of secondary school boys. Rumors that a University of Papua New Guinea student shot by police and admitted to hospital had passed away are not true. Port Moresby General Hospital confirmed with EMTV that of all students who had been admitted to their accident and emergency section, there remained only 2 who are still recovering in hospital, while all others had been sent home. Quinton Alomp reports.
A doctor at the Port Moresby General Hospital has denied rumors that a student has passed away, but confirmed that 2 of the students that received bullets fired by police during the peaceful protest last Wednesday are still admitted at the hospital. The students are slowly recovering. Today, opposition leader Don Pollier made an informal visit to the hospital to see the injured students. The 2 critically injured are part of the University of Papua New Guinea students who put up a protest last Wednesday when they were attacked by members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. The police fired shots at the unarmed students, resulting in the injuries. The students have protested for over 5 weeks now, calling on Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to step aside and allow himself to be interviewed on allegations of corruption and mismanagement. Even though the UPNG Council is expecting students to resume classes tomorrow, EMTV understands that factions of students may continue boycotting classes. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has announced an inquiry into the shooting of the students by police last week. Quinton Alom, National EMTV News.
Orlando, Florida, in the United States, has seen the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history this morning. A gunman armed with an assault rifle, identified as 29-year-old Omar Mateen, killed 50 people in an Orlando nightclub during a gay pride celebration. President Barack Obama denounced the rampage as an act of terror and hate.
Police killed the gunman who was identified as Omar Martin, 29, a New York-born Florida resident, and U.S. citizen who was the son of immigrants from Afghanistan and had twice been questioned by FBI agents in recent years. Law enforcement officials were probing evidence suggesting the attack may have been inspired by Islamic State militants, although they said there was no proof that Martin had worked directly with the group. Shots rang out at the crowded Pulse nightclub in the heart of a city that is one of the most popular U.S. tourist destinations, as some 350 patrons were attending a Latin music event in conjunction with Gay Pride Week celebrations. Partygoers described scenes of terror and pandemonium, with one man who escaped saying he hid under a car and bandaged a wounded stranger with his shirt. 53 people were wounded in the rampage. It ranked as the deadliest single U.S. mass shooting incident, eclipsing the massacre of 32 people at Virginia Tech University in 2007. The Florida shooting evolved into a hostage situation, which a team of SWAT officers ended around dawn when they used armored vehicles to storm the club before killing the gunman. It was unclear when the victims were killed. Syed Shafiq Rahman is imam of the Florida mosque attended by Martin. Rahman described Martin as a quiet man who would visit regularly but rarely interacted with others. The imam also said Martin attended the mosque for almost 10 years but never approached him regarding any concerns about homosexuals. According to ex-wife Sitora Yusufi, Martin was emotionally and mentally disturbed with a violent temper, yet aspired to be a police officer.
He wanted to be a police officer, so he trained with his friends who were police officers, and he had a license to have a gun in Florida. You're allowed to do that. So he didn't practice anything in front of me, but I'm sure he went to shooting ranges.
Lorraine Gabina, MTV World News.
As authorities investigate what happened in Orlando, another tragedy may have been averted in Los Angeles. Police say a man arrested there had assault weapons and explosive materials, and that he was headed to a gay pride event.
Just hours after the Orlando mass murder began, as word spread about the shooting inside the Pulse nightclub, police near Los Angeles arrest 20-year-old James Howell with a frightening arsenal. Inside Howell's white Acura, police find 3 assault rifles, a rifle scope, high-capacity magazines and ammunition, a gas canister, a black vest with a security badge, and a 5-gallon bucket with chemicals capable of making a bomb. Police say he tells them where he's going.
Who said he was coming to Pride and who was heavily armed and apprehended by Santa Monica Police Department officials.
He was arrested just before dawn. A neighbor called the Santa Monica police reporting a suspected prowler. Police say Howell was sitting in his car with Indiana plates, his home state. Howell has a criminal history in Indiana, arrested for intimidation with a weapon. Police also say his 17-year-old boyfriend, in a lover's quarrel, accused him of pointing an AR-style rifle at him last year, but that did not lead to an arrest. A perplexing profile, which leads police to say this.
We do not have any additional information related to what his intentions were.
Police were now looking at all this with new concern. Thousands gathering for the LA Pride Parade in the wake of the Orlando shooting and the arrest here, adding another layer of security, more officers. The city decided the parade would go on. And it did. Orlando scrawled on hastily made signs carried by this LGBT community as a badge of solidarity.
We're stronger than the fear. We're stronger than all of the scary things that are going on in the world right now.
What could have been hovering over this community.
Thank God, seriously, thank God for the police catching this guy. It's just sickening. It's crazy.
Welcome back. Still on the shooting, it happened just as the club was set to close early Sunday morning, but the situation pressed on for several hours. Here is a timeline of the attacks.
Cop cars out here. The worst terror attack on U.S. soil since 9/11 begins here at Pulse, a gay nightclub in the heart of Orlando. 2 a.m. closing time. Some 350 people crowded inside the cavernous club for Latin Night, the most popular night of the week. 2 minutes later, shots ring out in the darkness. Witnesses think the shots are part of the music. A man armed with an assault rifle and a Glock pistol shooting patrons in 2 areas of the club. Some able to escape the chaos by running out the back. Others send urgent texts begging for help. "Mommy, I love you," in the club they shooting. "You okay?" Trap in the bathroom. "What club?" Pulse. Downtown. "Call police. I'm gonna die." Calling them now. Moments later. "You still in there? Answer your phone. Call me. Call me. Call them, Mommy, now. I'm still in the bathroom. He's coming. I'm going to die." A uniformed officer working security at Pulse and 2 other officers nearby at the time all fire on the shooter, later identified as 29-year-old Omar Mateen. Mateen takes hostages. At 2:09, almost 10 minutes after the shooting began, club management posts an urgent message to Facebook. "Everyone get out of Pulse and keep running." At 2:22, Mateen calls 911, pledging allegiance to ISIS and mentioning the Boston Marathon bombers. A tense standoff follows. Almost 3 excruciating hours with some 100 officers outside the club. One person hiding in the bathroom covers herself with dead bodies to protect herself. She survives. Some entertainers hide in a dressing room when the shooting started. They escape when police remove an air conditioning unit and crawl out the window. Finally, at 5 a.m., a SWAT team uses an armored vehicle to smash down a door at the club, allowing some 30 hostages to escape. Officers confront Mateen in the doorway, shooting and killing him. One of the bartenders says she hid under the glass bar. Police arrived calling out, "If you are alive, raise your hand." Initial estimates of 20 dead proved to be just far too low.
And it is with great sadness that I share we have not 20 but 50 casualties. In addition to the shooter, there are another 53 that are hospitalized.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has extended sympathies on behalf of the nation to the families of more than 50 people killed in the Florida shootings in the United States. The Prime Minister described the killings as senseless and says PNG will mourn the loss with the world. PM O'Neill extended prayers and comfort to the families of those that have been killed in this tragedy. More local stories and celebrations marking the Queen's 90th birthday when we come back. Welcome back. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru has called on Papua New Guineans to venture into large-scale businesses currently dominated by foreign businesses and naturalized citizens. Naru also called on the banks to provide the much-needed capital to empower Papua New Guinean businesses. Naru made the call on Saturday after opening a new Papua New Guinean-owned supermarket in Lae.
This latest supermarket owned and operated by Papua New Guineans has given rise to a call by the Morobe governor for more Papua New Guinean participation in sectors not traditionally dominated by them. Speaking on Saturday, the Morobe governor said the investment should be an example to others and should prompt more Papua New Guinean participation.
We need to see a lot more automatic Papua New Guinea citizens getting into this kind of business. It is time now. And you are a role model, you have become an inspiration, and you are setting the pace.
This is a 7 million kina local investment that has happened in a depressed economic environment. The supermarket, which boasts a grocery section, butchery and bakery, was strongly supported by an injection of funds from BSP. Naru has also called on the banks to lend generously and empower Papua New Guinean businessmen and women.
You are in charge of financial resources that will empower our people.
In Morobe, local investments with diversification have done relatively well compared to others who depend on imports. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
Because of the expensive lifestyle in Port Moresby, people are venturing into interesting forms of business to earn an income. The selling of assorted canned drinks at traffic lights is already a common sight in Port Moresby. But have you ever wondered how these vendors keep their drinks cold or how many cans they sell in one day? Our reporter Tekla Gunga spoke with 3 vendors today and files this story.
Jeffrey Ambo is from Wabeg. He is a vendor who sells drinks at the Waigani traffic lights. He, along with his 2 brothers, turn up here every morning and sell drinks until 7 o'clock in the evening. Jeffrey says it is a fast but honest way of making money. And though the income is not stable, it is enough for him to buy his necessities.
Morning 8 o'clock number miblas set se miblas working amas 16 to 15 20 kate number them depend on customer buying.
In one day, Jeffrey sells an average of 200 cans, that is over 400 kina for a day's revenue. His busiest times of the day are in the afternoons when people are traveling home.
So sometimes still man number all come now working number lo car come now stop time or traffic jam mo kaino sem na ola chimbilum number lo ya mo sem mibla magi sabe e mibla sa roni mol sometimes time mol chim phone number na runway go down katim working kain mibla sa sabutin police lo oli mol number.
For motorists waiting for the light to change, it's a cold drink conveniently within reach. For Jeffrey and his brothers, it's a sale and money in the pocket, the quickest and unfortunately riskiest way they know how. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Sir Julius Chan has been featured in the Hall of Fame of his former high school, Marist College Ashgrove, in Brisbane, Australia. During his years at the school, he was a member of their top first 15 rugby team from 1956 to 1958. Sir Julius attended the reunion where he was officially inducted into the Hall of Fame. He said it was a historic reunion and is grateful for the Christian upbringing which has helped his personal and public life. Trukai Sports is up next. I'll have the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. It was raining PNG national records at the national championships in Florida as all 3 PNG athletes who participated in individual events set new records. Relly Kaputin placed second in the triple jump, improving her own record of 12.78 meters with a final round leap of 12.82 meters. Adrienne Monagi broke the 25-year-old national record in the heptathlon, and Peniel Richard set a new mark of 15.35 meters in the triple jump. And Theo Piniao set a blistering first lap in the 4x400 meter relay final to put his team in a strong position to eventually win. Football, in New Zealand beat Papua New Guinea in a penalty shootout 4-2 to claim the Oceania Championships title at Sir John Guy Stadium in Port Moresby on Saturday. But the PNG men's national team have put that behind them as they seek to qualify for the FIFA World Cup with a crucial friendly this month against Malaysia.
For Papua New Guinea, playing well in the OFC Nations Cup was a feat in itself.
Chance goal! Papua New Guinea in additional time at the end of the first half.
From their first match against New Caledonia to their heroic display against neighbours the Solomon Islands, what was their first ever semi-finals, the home nation won the hearts of many during the 2 weeks.
Philip Mango's followed him a long way. He might be better advised to get back into his goal. Well, he's improvised.
New Zealand would always have proved extremely difficult to beat. The first 45 minutes on Saturday proving nerve-wracking for both the supporters in the sold-out match and also to viewers throughout the Pacific.
Very good touch from Rory.
Papua New Guinea would come out firing in the second half and during stages surviving the wave of New Zealand attack.
before launching their own with much flair and style. Disappointment at the end, the 4-2 penalty loss dealing a devastating blow to fans all across the country.
It's been a dramatic match and a dramatic competition, and to New Zealand the spoils.
However, all is not lost. Papua New Guinea will now regroup on Wednesday with a friendly against Southeast Asian neighbours Malaysia, and that will also prove an interesting test for Fleming Siritzlev's men. Only 15 of the 23 players that Siritzlev had on hand were used throughout the course of making history, and it is these benchmen that may be given that crucial international experience during the Malaysia match. With the OFC Nations Cup now done, and after seeing the strengths of the home side against the best the Pacific had to offer, there is now belief that reaching the final stage of qualification for the FIFA World Cup may not be as far-fetched a belief as was once held. Papua New Guinea have qualified for stage 3 of the qualifying campaign and head into that progressive stage in second place and in a far stronger position than was once had. Jeremy Moggy, National, EMTV Sports.
Still on football, despite their disappointing loss to New Zealand, a bright finish for two of PNG's players in captain David Muta and striker Raymond Gunemba. PNG midfielder Muta picking up the Golden Ball Award for his outstanding contribution to the team over the course of the tournament, while striker Raymond Gunemba being rewarded for his 5-goal effort, receiving the Golden Boot Award. Other players to receive individual awards included New Zealand goalkeeper Stefan Marinovic, Golden Glove, and New Caledonian captain Bertrand Kai for the Fair Play Award. True Kai Sport continues after the break. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports.
Welcome back. Now to preparations for the PNG Games in November. The Morobe Karate Association selection trials began yesterday in Leh with team and individuals kata competitions. Senior male and female teams began the competition with strong competition coming from the Lahi Shitoru Karate team and Unitec Gojuru Karate team. A junior male team also put up strong competition against more experienced sides. The day ended with point contact kumite competitions from the under-12 and under-14 competitors. There will be ongoing trials between June and September before a final Morobe team is announced. The Gerahu 3B Touch competition in Port Moresby continued its long weekend matches today. Organizing committee member Stallone Tanda told MTV Sports the initiative is to bring residents together and promote sports, healthy living, and to engage youths. Residents came out in numbers to support their men's and women's divisions in today's matches.
Despite the hot Port Moresby conditions, it was a fun-filled day for residents in Geru's 3B area who came out in numbers for the 2016 Geru 3B Touch competition. A total of 32 teams are participating in both men's and women's division. Without any formal support, the initiative for the games is to bring residents together and encourage sports and healthy living.
Helping more young people move away from drugs and alcohol. We promote sportsmanship, friendship, unity among the community.
Tanda says the competition also focuses to involve women and embrace gender equity.
Like him by something manta sol. Like him girls or sisters or mothers or aunties all feel free. This is their thing too. You know,
but this land community occupy minds young youths. That's why Mipla having this tournament.
In today's opening matches, Infinity in Maroon came out in style with a strong performance, beating rivals Warriors 3-1. In other matches, Waterfront Chicks in Blue beat Stalls 1-0. In the men's opening match, it was an in-house confrontation as Dogodo Tigers Black locked paws with Dogodo Tigers Orange. It was the Young Tigers team in orange who crossed first to score after a superb bulwark to send young flying winger Nelson over the line. Tigers Black leveled the scoreboard as center Austin Powers ran untouched for a try. It was a hard-fought battle between the two teams, with many chances gone missing for both teams in the second half. But it was the senior Tigers team who came out victorious with tries from substitute Henry Jonah, while leading try scorer Owa Victor crossed right on full-time, sealing the game 3-1. The competition will continue for a duration of 10 weeks.
Geru bisi na one way or the other good plan lo on community ba kimol bisi da denol ba luchindin lo pasin lungud na bonus lakai.
Jack Lapave Junior National EMTV Sports.
The Euro 2016 match between Russia and England, which ended in a 1-1 draw, turned into chaos as Russian fans charged into a section full of English supporters. They threw missiles, tearing down flags and fighting with anyone who stood in their way.
Supporters clashed inside the stadium after a stoppage time equalizer secured Russia a 1-1 draw in the team's opening Euro 2016 match. Thousands of England fans were forced to retreat, with many climbing a high fence and running out to the exit, while some stood on the field watching events unfold. Groups of Russian fans ran up from ground level to the second row of the vast 67,000 capacity state velodrome before a handful of guards eventually stepped in to form a barricade. European football's governing body, UEFA, which runs the tournament, immediately announced it would open disciplinary proceedings. A representative of the English Football Association read a statement at the post-match news conference saying the FA is very disappointed by the terrible scenes of disorder and condemns such disorder. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
That ends True Kai Sports. The weather details after the break.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, fine for all centers. In the Momasa region, fine although cloudy for Lae, and morning showers for Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, mostly fine for Lorengau, chances of passing showers for Kavieng, few showers for Buka, and a shower or two for Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, morning fog clearing, then fine for all centers. Current strong wind warning for all coastal waters of Papua New Guinea, except for waters of Madang to Bogia, to Wewak, to Vanimo, and northern PNG Indonesian border, to Manus, New Ireland, to East New Britain, and northern parts of Bougainville. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Kiwai Island, Kerma, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, Samurai, Eastern and Western Milne Bay Island, Finchafen through Vietnam Strait, Long Island including CSC Islands and Dampier Strait, seas 2.5 to 3 meters. Waters of Samurai to Cape Vogel to Finchafen west of Long Island, Madang, Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo and the northern PNG Indonesian border, Manus and its western group of islands, New Ireland and East New Britain and Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of West and West New Britain, seas 1 to 2.5 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas. In the Coral Sea, seas rough to rather rough with southeast winds 25 to 34 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas rather rough with southeast winds at 20 to 25 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, sees slight to moderate with southeast winds at 10 to 20 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, sees slight with southeast to southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. Queen Elizabeth II today officially celebrated her 90th birthday, with the world observing a public holiday. Papua New Guinea is no exception. Many countries held various celebrations to honor the British royal. Here's a look at London celebrating the Queen's special day.
The British capital city of London was filled with pomp and pageantry on Saturday, on the second day of a weekend of events to mark the official 90th birthday of the country's longest reigning monarch. The Queen, who has been on the throne for 64 years, turned 90 in April, but in keeping with a tradition dating back to 1748, she also has an official birthday, usually in June, to ensure celebrations take place when the weather is likely to be better. It was a double celebration for the royals, with the occasion falling on the same day as the 95th birthday of Prince Philip, the Queen's husband for 68 years. As part of the celebrations, flotillas of historic boats, including the Queen's boat, the Gloriana, were seen going past on the River of Thames. Fans from all over the country and of various nationalities have lined up in the capital to be part of the festivities and catch a glimpse of the royal family. The Queen and members of the royal family appeared on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to cheers of waiting crowds. There they watched a special birthday flypast by the Royal Armed Forces. A 62 artillery gun salute from the Tower of London on Saturday marked Queen Elizabeth's official 90th birthday as part of a weekend of events. Earlier on Saturday, the Queen attended the traditional trooping of the colour parade of soldiers in ceremonial uniforms in central London. Lorraine Gabina, EMTV World News.
Before we go, recapping our main stories for tonight. City residents celebrate Queen's birthday. 50 dead and 53 injured in deadly U.S. shooting. And PNG looking past OFC Grand Final loss. That's the news, sports and weather for tonight, Monday the 13th of June 2016. From all of us here at EMTV, you have a pleasant evening. Good night.